We go for main engine start. We have main engine start and ignition and liftoff.
If you measure a man's success by what he's done, Dr. Norm Thagard's achievements would be out of this world. And guess what? That's exactly where he's been.
The fact that I graduated from medical school here at Southwestern is probably one of the major reasons that I was accepted in the astronaut program in the first place.
Challenger, Houston, negative return. Roger, negative return. With that call-up trip and house ride, Sadie and Thagard committed to space travel. Roger that.
The 74-year-old has literally reached for the stars. His career grew out of humble beginnings.
I worked at my grandfather's little fruit stand when I was probably in the 9th grade, and then I worked as a bag boy and a stock clerk in a supermarket.
From there, he earned both Bachelor and Master of Science degrees in engineering from Florida State University. He then flew 163 combat missions in Vietnam as a captain in the Marine Corps. But ask him what he's proudest of.
Phew, I'd almost break up with this, but convincing an 18-year-old female to marry me. We got married at 19, and I would have to credit her with most of the things I was able to do.
Kirby, his wife of now 52 years, supported him going back to school in the 70s to fulfill another goal. At 30 years old, Dr. Thagard was accepted into 5 medical schools. He chose UT Southwestern and moved his wife and 2 young boys to Dallas.
I enjoyed the time I was at Southwestern, and I thought it was one of the best educational experiences that I ever had.
So good, he credits his time here with landing him his dream job. Once again, Kirby is to thank.
She literally sent me off to space because I came home one day and she said, I heard on radio that NASA's taken an application for astronaut, which they had not done in over 9 years. And I said, well, I've got to send off for an application. And she said, I already did.
Dr. Thagard went on to log 140 days in space, over 5 missions.
Dr. Thagard has the distinction of being the first medical doctor to fly and took his Doctor of Medicine degree from Texas Southwestern Medical School in 1977.
He flew with Sally Ride, the first American woman in space in 1983.
Probably because of Sally, President Reagan invited us all up for lunch at the White House. President Reagan walks into the room, and he walks up to me and he says, you know, Doc, I've been having this pain in my shoulder. And I was just awestruck because the President of the United States had taken the time to learn to recognize us on sight and know at least a little something about our background.
Dr. Thagard made history again as the first American cosmonaut. He spent 3 months aboard a Russian rocket, studying how humans adapt to weightlessness.
You can see 1,100 miles out to the horizon, but you better look quick because it's going by at 300 miles a minute.
And while back on campus for Alumni Reunion Weekend, the American hero shared his advice for med students ready to launch into something big.
Your profession is one of the most important there is, and I don't think anyone would quibble with that. If you're a medical student who has some hopes of doing something a little bit beyond the medical profession, but still using what you've learned, believe it or not, 10% of the astronaut corps at any given time are physicians. So you're not in a field that's going to exclude that opportunity.
An opportunity to literally shoot for the moon.